Welcome to In the Green Room. I'm Kinga.
And I'm Chet. And today we don't have Martin, but we have Richard instead. Welcome back in the Green Room.
Always a pleasure.
You're one of our favorite
Always
co-hosts.
a pleasure. Thank you.
Come in.
Yes.
And of course, when Richard's here, we're always drinking some wine.
Oh, you don't need me here to drink wine. As long as King is here, wine will be drunk.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
Oh, cheers.
So why don't you introduce our guest?
Good. Well, what are we drinking? First, let's start with their wine. Katrina Sanders.
My gosh. Hello.
Hello.
Hi,
Hello.
Kinga.
Hi.
So,
And Dale Stewart.
and Dale Stewart. Hello.
Is he your fiance?
Pleasure. My fiance. My betrothed, as it were.
And that's a funny
my-
story. Well,
My Prince
all about it.
Charming. He came in with a white wine bottle, not on a white horse. So we are here. We are drinking the 5 to 9. This is an Arizona blend of Syrah and Petite Syrah grapes from the gorgeous varietals of Wilcox, Arizona.
So
and
it's sustainable because you're
it
living
is
here
sustainable.
and it's from here.
Yes, it is. We're just like loving up on Arizona. Lots of Arizona pride.
Arizona, love Arizona, love local. Love local.
Yes, drink local, shop local, do all the things local. So we are here enjoying this beautiful blend, and this is kind of, I think, where the story begins. Doesn't everything begin and end with wine? Wine
And
brings
love,
people
and love,
together.
love
yes,
and wine.
Yes. Love
That
and
could be our
wine.
title.
All is fair in love and wine.
That could be our
love it.
title.
Oh, there it is, right
There it
there.
is.
Boom,
There it is.
shakalaka.
David, write it down.
It happened. Somebody write that down. Write that down. Yes.
How did you guys know I drink till 9 a.m.? I'm kidding.
Till
You
9
stop
a.m.?
at 9?
I'm fucking right.
Start at 9
Well, sometimes when I
and then
DJ,
end at 9.
sometimes
so
my
that
DJ
covers
sets
12 hours.
end at 2 a.m. and
Yeah.
I need to bring a lot of energy, so I usually will
Deep
have
chatty
like
music.
a Red Bull tequila right before I go on stage.
Oh, Red Bull tequila?
Yeah, 'cause
Oh.
you're not gonna fall asleep after you drink one of those.
Yeah,
yeah,
no.
yeah.
You're too busy
So,
puking.
Deep chatty music. When are you DJing next? Isn't it June 10th?
yeah, but we don't need to promote that on here. But
Well,
Yeah.
I'll tell
But
you.
anyways,
Yeah.
I think it's Dark Star. I think at 9 or 10 or 11.
I wish some of these venues had more wine options though, because I love wine as option when I'm DJing, but a lot of these venues will only have like one option.
Yeah.
So,
You know what they
Richard,
do?
can we?
it'd be great to
handle
get
that?
more bottles
Oh,
of more of
let's
these
get
Do you
venues.
know what
guys
they
involved in
do?
that.
They do the cheapest bottle of Chardonnay and the cheapest Cab Sauv, and so it's just like gross, like super, like you're
Terrible
drinking.
wine.
You're drinking an oak barrel.
It's terrible.
And it's like, so then people don't think they like wine, but it's only because like they've just offered.
I have a
garbage
great
wine all
idea.
the
You could
time.
start coming to their shows.
Oh my word.
and
They're
getting
like,
to know
"Why is
everybody
that
and
ginger
bringing
in the
your wine."
corner, just handing out wine to everybody.
The Dale and
Oh.
Katrina show.
Yes, the Dale and Katrina show. Yes, yes.
Well, cheers. I want to hear.
Cheers.
I want to know how you guys met, and I want to know why we need to brush our teeth before we go to bed so we don't die.
This is like how much time we got. No, I'm kidding.
Because
So-
you're a dental hygienist
I'm a dental hygienist by trade
and a sommelier.
and a sommelier. Yes, two things that really don't go together, but do go together.
Oh wait, can we get some of your reviews on this 5 to 9 then?
Are you going to give me a review right now?
Well, no, I wanted to get yours first, the professional. I mean,
Oh well.
to me, I'm like, this is some fancy grape juice.
You think it's,
No, I'm kidding.
you think it's fancy grape
Kidding.
juice? Tell me more. What else do you think about it?
Let's see, it's not too sour, which I really
Okay.
like.
What's the word for that?
What's the
Not too
proper
sour.
word for that?
No tannins.
Yeah, that'd be like the
No, tannins is acid. It's
So-
tannic acid.
yeah, but that sour is going to be
Sour,
the
yeah.
acidic.
So
But
what's
the
the
opposite,
word?
it like doesn't
Well,
have
there's
too
a
much
big
of that. 'Cause
difference
some,
between sour and acid.
So what's the word?
Big
Not too
difference.
sour. What would the word be?
I think it's like drinkable, basically.
Yeah, I would.
Nice.
This is not high in tannins, is what I would
No,
say.
it's not.
So
Okay,
it's
so good.
very well
See?
balanced.
Well balanced,
No,
yes,
word.
well
Oh,
balanced.
word. I said not high in tannins.
Oh my word!
so excited.
Are you a sommelier? Oh my gosh, that's it. We're gonna pin her on the show. You heard it here first, folks. She's
so
a sob.
Uh-oh.
I
This
knew
is
a word.
really exciting.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay. Oh my gosh. It's so
So
exciting.
I'm glad that you enjoy this wine and that it's not too acidic or sour or
And
tannic.
not too many
or
tannins.
all of the things.
And very drinkable.
We want it to be well balanced, drinkable, and likable.
Mhm.
So I'm glad you like this wine because
I love it. I'm drinking more.
Good.
Yeah, I
She's just pouring
usually-
herself another one. How about that?
For some reason, reds usually have more of that acidic quality that where I enjoy them for like a sip or two, but I don't want to actually drink a full
We're more
glass.
enjoyable than just a sip.
Let alone, oh yeah,
Oh,
this
red
is very
wines, you
cool.
meant. Okay.
So it's more than
Oh,
sippable.
yeah.
Tis.
Yeah.
Tis more
Wine.
similar.
This is more
Should
bottleable.
try to slip that one in there under the radar. But...
Well, I'm glad that you really enjoy this wine because it's my wine.
Oh, very nice.
She makes this wine. So let's
Yes.
give a little bio about
So
you.
we're gonna bio it back.
Okay, bio it back.
I'm a dental hygienist by trade. I'm
Okay.
a sommelier. They call me the dental wine genist. So I
Aha.
deliver dental
Play on
education.
words.
See what I did there? Boom. I speak about dental content and I serve wine during my programs. Turns out, like, fun fact about your dental provider, like, we love to get drunk. And so if we can do that while taking our continuing education coursework, I don't know why I put it in quotes, be like, actually you teach content. Dental people love that. So I developed an entire brand
Who
where
doesn't?
I literally, where we talk about like high level clinical stuff, gum disease and cavities and oral cancer, honestly, serious topics, but we do it with wine flights to make it more enjoyable. And it helps, just like wine always does, it helps open people up. People start to share about the challenges they're having in clinical practice. And I saw a patient with this, and how do you handle that? And it really has created this really cool conversation. So
brings people to the table.
it does.
And something
And it probably
brilliant.
makes people more engaged versus if you were just sitting in
Totally.
some class, like,
Like in a
tired and
stuffy
sober.
hotel
Hour,
conference
yeah.
hall, yeah.
And
Hour
something-
3, you're not listening or retaining anything. But if you're
Totally.
getting buzzed, then you're actually like engaged in the
100%.
conversation.
Yeah, they're paying attention when you're pouring wine.
But something
They
brilliant.
should maybe
where would you
think
do
about
these?
taking this into colleges.
That's
at
important.
places.
That's
Right,
important.
right. So this,
Yes.
People might go to class actually.
well, that's exactly it. When you say you're not like you need to come to see this conference because you have a ticket for the conference. Instead, it's I've reserved your wine flight for you. Like
Yeah.
people don't not show up to a
Yeah.
wine flight; they just do, right?
That's
Like,
so
we had
smart.
to turn on the air in here because there's so many people in here because
Mhm.
everybody heard that there was wine. Right? So it's like, hello.
That's so true.
So, but yeah, I deliver these programs not in these like stuffy hotel conference halls, but like at wine bars. So people can come
Wine
and
tasting
Oh.
places like
really
Iridis.
relaxed and
Really?
they enjoy it, which
Mhm.
is just so different and dynamic. So
Well, it's smart
that's
because if you
so
join the club like you did,
yeah,
there's not really. Is there a charge for that big room?
sometimes
As long
yeah,
as you're buying
sometimes.
wine.
Yeah, so that's actually where the whole story began.
It's smart,
Was
and that's where they met.
Yes.
More or less.
The big
The
Bill
big-
and Katrina love show.
Here's the story, the
Okay,
love
the
story,
love story.
as it were.
Here's
yeah.
how it happens.
So I started delivering my programs out of this local wine bar down in Old Town Scottsdale because if, as a VIP member, I could use the back room for free.
For free.
Yeah, so it's like
Okay.
it was awesome, right? Because like now I can do this content and people are coming and they're able to interact with the wines, have a great time. I'm doing this. This is like me early getting my start.
You have to lock the door because there's too many people. You have to
Yeah,
say,
literally.
okay, no
Yeah.
more, no more.
I oversold the course. So like the
See?
fire marshal was like, please don't let any more dental hygienists in this room. And I was like, okay. So we
There is
had
a limit, yeah.
yeah, there was a limit, right?
Particularly with dental hygienists.
Yeah.
Well, we had a great time, and that was where I got my start. Dental speaking is really hard because, and I'm just gonna say it, I'm just gonna be honest, unless you're an old white dude, it is like, who are you in this space? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Sure.
And so I came in with these like hot pink colors on my logo, and I wanted to wear Calvin Klein dresses and high heels and talk about dentistry and say, you know, all these things. And people, I didn't. One of these things did not look like the other, and that was 100% me. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I had to create this like massive splash for myself, this huge name inside of dentistry, and I had to do it with a provocative twist, right? So I did that with wine. And I was told, and this is, I think, one of the most important messages that I've received inside of building my business. I was told, nobody's going to listen to you. Some dumb ginger from Phoenix wanting to drink wine and talk about dentistry. These highly successful, well-regarded societies are not going to invite you to bring your wine and to talk about dentistry. They're not going to do it. Well, with all due
Uh-huh.
respect, I've built an entire business where these societies are like, hey, you have the attention of the community. We want to work with you.
Because
and so now it's been
everybody
built
wants
out,
to drink
right?
wine. It's so smart.
It's
so smart.
But wine, and when you look at the history of wine, Richard, you know this better than
That's how I
I.
get people on the show. I'm like, we're drinking wine.
That's right.
Well,
Did
and
you
they're kind of
want-
related because you're not supposed to go to bed with acid on your teeth, right?
Turns out you're not supposed to go to bed with acid on your teeth.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah,
Yes. Oh my gosh,
exactly.
you're an expert. You're
Well,
learning things.
yeah.
Tip number one, don't go to bed with acid on your teeth.
So if you're drinking a bunch of wine, even if you're sloshed, go brush those teeth before you go to sleep. Yeah.
Brush those teeth.
That's so
Yeah.
true. And we have, how much time do we have, David?
Oh, we're like 10 minutes in.
Yeah.
Okay,
We
so
have
we have a
plenty
lot
of
of
time.
time.
We
Because I
got a
do want
runway.
to talk about all the do's and don'ts about our
Oh yeah, about
dental
that.
hygiene. Yes, yes. because we all want to live to be 110.
Yes.
And I
your
think-
oral health is very
and
critical.
people
Yeah,
can't
you don't want to
live.
wake up with pirate breath either. Nobody wants to talk to the person with
like
pirate breath.
scurvy. I see what you did there.
Well, no, yeah, but the people when they don't brush their teeth
Yeah.
before they go to bed, when you try to talk to them in the morning, you're like, get this barn
me about-
animal away from me. Have you never talked to somebody with that
Okay.
post-drinking breath and you're
Can I
like,
tell you a story?
get a fucking toothbrush?
Do you ever
Okay.
watch a show on Netflix where when they wake up in the morning and they all look at each other and they start talking? As a dental hygienist, the first thing I'm thinking is, they about that morning, there's no way that you're like,
Well, if you brushed it right before you went to bed, it's not terrible.
It's not terrible, but it's also not like amazing. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Like,
mothers
come
out
on.
there, if you have a son or a daughter
Yes.
that's not dating and they're not brushing their teeth,
That's probably
encourage
why they're
them
not
to
dating.
date.
That's probably why they're not dating.
But encourage them to know, because some parents are like, oh, I don't want my kid to date till they're 25. Well, then they're going to die young because they're going to have rotting
Yes.
teeth.
Yes.
Because if you're kissing somebody, you're going to be brushing your teeth.
Yes.
Oh,
Or you could just do it for your own
See?
self-respect and
That's true. Yeah, you
health.
could do
If
yeah,
you're-
so-
incentive.
What a crazy concept.
I know, isn't that weird?
Well, I mean, Chet, did you
You could almost do it for yourself and your own self-respect.
Did
Isn't
you
that
brush your
wild?
teeth before you had a girlfriend?
Obviously.
I'm just
That's an
kidding.
idiotic
Obviously.
question.
It's like, obviously I did.
All right, so we do have an audience here that can ask a question at any
Okay.
time. They have a mic over there.
So they're just going to hop in and ask questions?
Yes,
Okay.
if they have a good question to ask, we want to hear it.
Good. I
So,
like it. I like it.
so I want to hear the story of how Katrina and Dale met.
Well, wait,
And how-
wait, let's while we're on
Okay,
the
okay.
wine, let's ask some more questions about it. So,
Okay, let's go to
Okay.
that then.
do you have an Instagram that people can go and follow your wine brand at?
I do, yes.
Okay.
It
Because
is.
I was about to post it and I want to tag you.
Oh,
So-
Oh,
yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
It's
Perfect.
called The Wine Op. And I'll tell you why it's called The Wine Op. So the
Wine
op, yep. So the op or the operatory, that's the name of like the dental chair where you sit down.
It is?
When we call it the operatory. You all
Never
call it the
heard that.
dental chair, but it's called the operatory. We call it the op for short.
I love learning a new word, and that's my word of the day.
So next time you sit down, you're gonna say, "Oh, we're going back to your operatory." Your dental professional is gonna be so impressed. They're gonna be like, "What?" Okay. So that's the op.
But don't take your shoes off when you get
Don't
there.
take your shoes off because it
That's
drives
pro-
us
that's
crazy. I don't know why
problem
people
number
do
one.
that. It drives me
Oh,
crazy.
really?
Yeah. People will take their shoes off during COVID. They would come and they'd take their shoes off. They'd sit down in my chair and then they'd go, "Should I take my mask off?" And I'm like, do you not know what we do here? Like, you have to take your mask off. You know what I mean? But they would take their shoes off.
Well, I could
We're
work
the
on your
one
feet.
office that's devised a way to work through a mask.
You know, exactly. The irony is my sister's a foot and ankle surgeon, and she had the opposite problem. She said her patients would take their mask off, but they wouldn't take their shoes off, which is, of course, what she needs when she's so, but yeah, so this is
I
our
think she should
wine.
do stand up live. She's
You think
funny.
so?
She
Yeah,
does.
yeah, she's funny.
Oh
yeah,
my
yeah,
gosh,
yeah.
thank
Good
you.
timing.
You're
Yeah,
all
she's
night. Try
funny.
to
She's
be on.
funny.
Very good time.
So go
Yes.
follow them
Yes.
at the Wine Up
The
on
Wine
Instagram.
So we're called the Wine Up because this wine was designed for dentistry. And we thought we wanted to be able to create something because dentistry does so much good. They really do. I know a lot of people think your dental provider, oh, they just, need an extra boat payment, or oh, they're trying to take their wife on a trip to, the Maldives or whatever. Dental people truly do care about the health, wellness, and vitality of their patients and their community. They really do. They do so much good in the operatory, and we wanted them to give an opportunity to drink good wine.
And I think they
at the
should be
op.
paid a lot. I mean, really, I mean,
Amen.
I mean, sorry, you're smelling someone's
We're like
breath.
literally in somebody's mouth. The things we pick out of there. Is
I mean, come
very,
on,
Like,
they-
I'm telling you, I could have a whole collection.
It should be,
A
the highest paying job.
Thank you.
Yes.
I think so.
So, yeah.
Dental hygienists were the #1 professional who was at risk for acquiring COVID during the pandemic because of our occupational
Mhm.
work.
I believe it.
#1. Isn't that
Well,
crazy?
our dental hygienist actually passed away during COVID.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah, and-
From
and-
COVID?
Yep. And her, Heidi, and her brother,
I didn't realize it was from COVID. That's
It's from
terrible.
COVID.
Damn.
Oh,
and
I'm
then
sorry.
and then her brother is a brother-sister team. He ended up retiring because of it.
Oh.
Yeah. So their
too bad.
receptionist that always worked in his office forever is now working at Safeway, and I see her all the time.
Oh.
And that's how, yeah.
Wowee.
So now I need a new
Well,
dentist.
up to Heidi.
Can you clean my
All
teeth
right,
there you
soon?
go.
I absolutely can. I don't serve wine while I'm doing cleaning, so.
But this brings us to a reason why you should drink wine and
There you go.
enjoy
Yeah.
every single day because
Uh-huh.
you never know which one's going to be your last. So it's important to find a little time to treat yourself every day. And so with a bottle of this 5 to 9 or 9 to 5, it's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
And that brings up a good point because not only is this for dental professionals the opportunity to consume some really good wine, but it's also an opportunity to give back to underserved communities, which is really the focus and mission of our organization. We donate 20% of our proceeds from every bottle sold to organizations that are either supporting underserved communities in Rwanda. So we did some humanitarian work and fell in love with these young children and people in remote villages in Rwanda. They just are the kindest, sweetest, most generous people.
That's so important, and that's how you guys are saving the planet.
And
And we're
yeah,
here
that's
saving the planet one show at a time.
And yeah, that
Yeah.
really matches the theme of our show. We love companies that give back or do any kind of philanthropy. So that's amazing to hear that you guys are helping in Rwanda. And then didn't you say you also were working with another charity
A
here
cancer.
domestically?
Yeah. So his Hands on Africa is the African philanthropy, and then Kindness Conquers works with pediatric cancer patients, providing love and support and everything both the children and the families need to fight and win against such a terrible disease.
And 20% is a great percentage that you guys are giving back to that. Most companies don't do that. That
Yeah,
high
that's
of a
huge.
percentage. It
That's
is huge.
huge.
That's huge. And so, how do people find your wine to purchase it? If they're not, can you be just a doctor or a
Yeah,
teacher
yeah.
and buy your wine?
So we're at thewineop.com.
We don't have to be a dentist?
You don't have to be a dentist to enjoy good wine.
Okay.
I will say this though, and you know, I'm not a hero. Dale's not a hero.
Yes, you are.
We
What
truly
you're
are
doing,
not.
yeah, that's heroic.
The importance of the work that we do, yes, the money is so valuable, and it does, like, it literally goes to, you know, sometimes when you donate to a charity and you don't know, like, oh, and then the CEO makes like 2.5 million and you're like, oh, that's kind of interesting. This actually goes to the it literally goes into the hands of people who are able to do magnificent things. But one important piece that I acknowledge inside of this is not just the money, but the awareness. So for those of you who are familiar with the genocide that happened in the 90s in Rwanda, it completely devastated these individuals. The entire Republic of Rwanda was stripped of not just resources, but literally their humanity. Like, it is soul crushing to learn. And when we were there, the people that we were interacting with lived through this genocide, like truly lived through the insurgents that happened. They watched people slaughtered in the streets. I mean, it is horrific, and they are rebuilding. And so for us to come in and literally these amazing souls are like doing singing concerts and poems for us, and it's like, we are no heroes. We are literally here because we want to help, but they are the heroes. They truly are. Every day that they wake up and they decide that they're going to do something for their families, they're going to do something to help protect their community, that they're going to come together, they're going to be stronger, they're going to be better. They just graduated the 4th cohort of dentists from the University of Rwanda in Kigali, the 4th cohort of dentists in the Republic. Like, this is how like delayed they are, and yet they're doing it and they're rebuilding it. So I will say, like, what we are doing is nothing compared to what is going on over there and the amazing people who are fighting that fight. So honestly, for us, it's about bringing awareness and showing how important
But
that
even
is.
your contribution is still helping a lot. You know what I mean? They deserve the credit, but every company that follows in your footsteps and donates a percentage to a cause like that, it's still making a massive trickle down effect for sure.
Thank you.
So yeah.
Thank you.
Everybody needs to be doing something for others, and I think if you're doing that, you're doing the right thing, because that's what life is about.
Yeah.
Well, and most wine
Awesome.
companies don't have a charitable aspect to it. So that's another reason to drink your wines,
Go on.
because you feel good
Aw.
about supporting a company that has a mission like that.
Well, it's very
you.
difficult for a small company, small wine, because, you know, first of all, you have this wine made for you.
Yes.
You know, you chose to do Arizona wine. Thank you for that. And you have it custom made for you. So you're paying for this wine,
Right.
and then you're selling the wine. I'm telling you right now that the wine business is a very difficult business to turn a profit in a short, you know, especially in the short term.
Yeah.
So, you know, they're not Gallo.
But you're
Yes.
you're a
Yes.
sommelier. Sometimes I mispronounce it. Can you pronounce it for us correctly?
Sommelier.
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 Sommelier. So
Just say
Som.
You can say
Som.
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 Yeah.
You're the som.
Some.
So being a som and a hygienist, what do you prefer? What do you think's more fun? If you had to pick one.
If I had to pick one,
Mm-hmm.
som or I'm sorry, if I had to pick between cleaning teeth all day and drinking wine.
Well, a som does a little bit more than just drink.
Come on, we're
wine.
supposed to ask good questions here.
Ooh.
Wendy, you get paid to drink
We'll take
wine?
a poll. We'll take a poll. What would you rather do? Would you rather hang out with your dental hygienist or drink wine?
Drink
You tell
wine
me.
and talk about the fruity notes and hints of berries.
Cheers. Okay, so can we go to the?
She's
We've done
ready to,
5 to
she's ready to
9.
drink the wine
Can
now.
we do 9 to
Yes.
9 now?
Nine to
Yeah,
Nine
let's
to
do the
five.
9 to 9.
9 to 5, we're drinking next.
9 to 5.
So this really is kind of the important piece about, I think, our love story, is the number of times that wine has shown up in my life and has kind of curated this
Fresh
next
bottle.
step or
What's
this,
that bottle? Dale, thanks.
yeah.
Well, I think we also need to say a toast to your dad because I know
Want you to pour out
your
this bottle.
your dad had recently passed.
Yes.
Should you
yes.
listening?
So this all is about legacy for me.
Mm-hmm.
In October of
I want to talk
2018.
about your dad a little bit.
Yeah. So in October of 2018, my mom suddenly, tragically, unexpectedly passed away. She collapsed in the kitchen. Dad performed CPR on her. She could not be saved. We are very proud because several people are alive today and can see because of her gifts of organ and tissue donation. But my mom was gone, and it was needless, and it was sudden. And when you died,
you were away, I think.
I was, yeah, because my parents were in Wisconsin.
Right.
So I was in Arizona when this happened. And I found out it was because of an airway obstructive disorder that none of the doctors or dental practitioners who are also well positioned to look down an airway, nobody said anything to my mom about any of this. And my mom was one of those people, like when we would fall and skin our knee on the sidewalk, she'd say, Mom, I skimmed my knee or whatever. And she would say, did you tell the ground you were sorry? Like she wasn't one of those moms that was like, oh, are you okay? Like it was like tough love. And so I knew after that, like, get back up, like no pity party, like we got this. So I was like, this is about legacy now. I am intolerant of healthcare practitioners who take the responsibility of delivering care to the community and squander that because we don't do it full the way that patients deserve to receive our high level care. So I started to get very frustrated, very intolerant, and I started to just share about doing the correct thing because we have to do the right thing. If your dental healthcare practitioner is not pulling your tongue to the left and to the right, looking down your airway, feeling your thyroid, if they are not doing those things respectfully, they are doing it wrong and they are skipping things because they're running behind on time. And you are
Wow, I
missing
don't
out
have that
on
done.
complex
Wow.
health
Wait,
evaluation.
to the right, to the left?
They should be pulling your tongue to the left and to the right. They should be looking down your airway. They should be checking your thyroid. They should be checking your joints, your jaw joints.
What are they, when they look down your throat, what are they looking for?
They're looking for cancer.
Really?
They're looking for HPV. They're looking for all of that. So if they're not doing those things, they're missing that. And there was a research study done in the 90s that indicated that less than 15% of patients are actually getting that comprehensive evaluation. It drives me crazy. It drives me.
So question, if somebody has
can't stand
HPV, what,
I believe
I've heard
that.
of that and I know it can turn to cancer.
Mhm.
What are the signs of that? Like if somebody has HPV, what are the signs of that?
In the throat, this would be a hoarseness of your voice that does not go away.
Okay.
This would be constantly feeling like you need to constantly clear your throat. This could be sinus issues. This could be an enlargement in your throat. Bleeding in the back of the throat, a lump that will not go away. Those are terrific indicators in the back of the throat that there's something very wrong.
And can a hygienist look down your throat and see HPV?
Yes. They should be able to-
Really?
They,
Okay.
they should be able to see HPV-like lesions. They can't tell you that it's HPV until, of course, we do a biopsy, but we know exactly what that looks like. So if they're not doing those things, they're doing it incorrectly. And
Interesting.
it was very evident to me that my mom did not receive the level of care that she needed. And I thought, no patient under my watch is ever going to receive subpar care. So I started on a mission, and
Wow.
my dad, my best friend in the absolute whole wide world, behind me on all of this. Go, Katrine, like you're doing this. And literally almost 2 years later to the day, I called dad every morning. We'd speak on the phone multiple times a day. Called dad one morning.
This is after your mom died.
This is after mom passed. Yeah. Called dad. This was December of 2020, and he did not answer the phone, and I knew something was wrong because he knew that I called every day. So I started to panic. I'm kind of the alarmist in the family. So I started, contacting my sisters, my brother. I'm like, something is not right. Dad is not answering the phone. My brother called the emergency police number. Police came to the house, found my father collapsed in the house. They brought him to the hospital. He was placed on life support. He lasted about 36 hours before we watched him over a Zoom meeting have the tubes removed and all life-saving measures concluded. My father passed 2 years after my mom passed.
But what was the reason?
Pneumonia. My dad had
Wow.
been to the doctor
Pneumonia.
about a week prior, and the doctor said everything looked fine, no problems whatsoever. My dad was in the doctor's office for less than 9 minutes. So with all due respect, now,
But wait,
Can you
we have
imagine?
the best healthcare system in the
Right.
world.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
you know
right,
that?
I know. And so, like, so as somebody who is an advocate for the healthcare community, and I'm sitting up, here I am sipping wine and having a great time with dental people, and my own parents are dying under the watch of our healthcare system.
Hello.
And the dental system is a part of the healthcare system, period. Just because we're in a
So
different
do you
And I
think
hear
right?
stories like this
Big
all the
part.
time, of
Right.
where people like didn't find the proper diagnosis until like the third or fourth doctor that they went to, because the first
Yep.
2 or 3 were just not attentive or doing
I'm
their
not going to say
jobs
what it was
properly.
about. I
So
love
it's
that you-
very, very
yes.
common that
My
people
mom
don't
check-
receive good care the first visit. They basically have to like go to a second or third doctor and be like, "This is an emergency."
I'm not going
Right.
to say what the diagnosis was
shouldn't
because my
be like
mom
that.
wouldn't want me to tell it, but my mom had something really serious going on to the point where she was so uncomfortable she wanted to die, and she was literally at her own mom's funeral,
Oh my gosh.
and
yeah.
she couldn't sleep all night, and she was misdiagnosed, and I can't say what it was, but then she went to the fourth doctor,
The fourth. She has
and
to be her own advocate.
and he diagnosed what it was, and within like 3 weeks she was feeling great.
Do you know, this is a crazy, I had a patient just very recently, 72 years old, who had ovarian cancer. Now here's the thing, women are not screened for this after we go and have our OBGYN visits, and then we go through the change of life, as it were. We don't go into an OBGYN and have these things evaluated. We don't have our ovaries palpated, right? You don't think we're talking about ovaries today.
Ovaries, I haven't been to a doctor in 10 years.
This patient, she had stomach issues so badly, and how often just eat more fiber, like whatever. She was told this over and over and over again until she finally went to a GI doctor who did an ultrasound, and the ultrasound went just low enough in her GI tract to catch the top portion of a huge tumor on her ovary. By the time it got referred over, apparently the tumor was the size of a football. She had a hysterectomy, like in her mid-70s. She's like, I had ovarian cancer. Nobody would listen to me. And her symptoms were GI issues, and she could not resolve them. So what I mean to say is, like, it drove me crazy. It drove me crazy that is the state of healthcare. And my parents, my sister's a physician, and I'm like one of the I don't mean to bloviate, I'm one of the foremost dental practitioners in the country. I travel internationally speaking. My own parents were suffering, and nobody did anything. Not even myself, right? So from that I was like, I'm
Well, you
done.
can get
I
there in
can't.
time.
I couldn't. I wasn't providing routine care to them. They were not patients of mine, but it still drives me crazy. We have to do better. We have to slow down. We have to be correct. We have to be comprehensive, and we have to do the
We
right
have to
thing.
ask questions.
And we,
Because that was something
yes.
that was something that I learned from my amazing dad as a doctor, because he would get a lot of patients that would come to him disgruntled by a different doctor,
right.
and he would take them. They were on he'd say, "Bring all your medicines."
Yeah. Oh, too many.
He'd say, "Bring all your medicines," and he'd say, "Trash, trash, 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 trash." He'd
Yeah.
make them bring their cigarettes, and he'd throw it in the trash, and he'd make them bring their tight socks, and he'd cut them.
Huh.
And even if they got pissed off and they didn't want to come back, he's like, "I don't care."
Yeah. Yeah.
So you know,
you have to.
yes.
And I will say, it's interesting that you say that he would upset patients,
Yeah.
but he'd still do it, because
Yeah.
we're so afraid now of
Yeah.
making sure that everybody likes us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
But then he'd say, "You're fat. You need to lose weight." I don't know if he'd say it that
He
rude.
probably wouldn't say, yeah.
He wouldn't say it that rude,
It's like
but
my
he would
600
basically
pound
say,
life, where the guy's like, you're too fat.
"You need to lose weight.
Oh.
This is what you need to
Yeah.
eat. You need to stop doing this, stop doing that, and relax and do music and arts." And
Yes.
he would save so many people's lives.
Yes. And the thing
So.
is, it's hard to track, like, who did I actually save with this, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the reality is, we have the skills and the talents to be able to do it. And so that's where that journey began, with building wine and trying to create this brand of, it is okay to enjoy wine and have a nice time with it, but there's a seriousness to what we do, and there is a reverberating, resonating effect to what happens when you serve patients, when you do the right thing and you take care of those people.
Well, a doctor should only be a doctor if it's a labor of love.
That's right.
Because of course you want to make money, but if you do what you love and you try to make money with doing what you love, you're doing the right thing.
That's right.
Some people just go to, try to make money.
That was actually the inspiration for the labels. If we can look at the two labels real quick, you'll see on the 9 to 5, it's a diagram of what Katrina's doing in the op, right? She's serving her patients, but she's thinking about wine. Or at least waiting.
I love it.
Or at least can't wait till
Sometimes
that
patients are a little
5
pain in the
o'clock.
tuchus. You know what I mean? Sometimes you're like, ooh, I got a glass of wine with your name on it when I get home.
But can't you be to the point where you only choose the patients you want? Like, I don't have people on the show that I don't want to be around. If somebody's on here one
Thank you.
time and they're like not fun, Chet's like next.
Oh, no. It's
Chet'll
like-
say to me, Chet'll say, no.
Lame.
No,
He's like,
they weren't
don't
fun. They
have
weren't
that
funny.
wine
He's like-
drinking dental
he's like,
hygienist that brought
He's
the
like, I don't
shut
care how
down.
much
Don't
you're
bring her back.
sponsoring. He goes, no.
We'll be a lot
I go,
more
but it's a big sponsor. He goes, I
Yeah.
don't care. He'll tell me no.
Yeah, you can't do that in dentistry. That's discrimination.
Oh.
You can't do that, turns out.
Okay.
But you can
In the
love your
medical
patients
field
through
in
that.
general, I think that's pretty true, yeah.
The Hippocratic.
Actually, in the state of Florida, they're changing those guidelines, so
Well, that's
they'll be able
Florida.
to discriminate in Florida. But
It's a hot button issue.
that's a hot button issue. I'm just going to sip
Yeah.
my wine and not have
That's
to talk
all
about
right.
the hot
I
button
think-
issue.
So
No,
now
wait,
can we
let's
say-
give a review of the 9 to 5 because this one is absolutely delicious. Like
It
the next
is.
time I have a
Oh.
pool party, I'm definitely gonna have
This
a few
is a
bottles
pool
of this.
sipper,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So this is a Viognier Sauvignon Blanc Malvasia Bianca blend, and it is just so tropical
Perfect.
and very
Citrus.
bright. Yes, very citrusy. Lots of tropical notes on
Grapefruit.
this one.
Stone fruit.
Lots of grapefruit, stone fruit. Richard, what do you think about
I
it?
think it's lovely, and
Oh.
there's two reasons for that.
I always want to know what Richard thinks.
I know.
One is
I love
that you've got Viognier and Malvasia Bianca,
Mm-hmm.
which is become the white wine grape of Arizona.
That's
And
right.
they're both
Mhm.
very fragrant,
Yes.
They're, and so they have that wonderful aroma. They're very aromatic.
I feel it's very
And then-
sensual.
And then the Sauv Blanc
Mm.
gives you a little bit more acidity
Mhm.
as a varietal.
Yes.
So they're playing very nicely together.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna have a date,
I agree.
you bring this wine.
That's right.
The single men in here or single whoever.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not single anymore.
Oh.
Dale, forget you.
He's
But
spoken for.
Chet,
sister.
Owen, Jeffrey, you have a date. Oh, even me. You have a date.
Oh.
You bring this 9 to 5.
There you go.
It
What's
could,
that saying?
it could turn
That's
into
right.
5 to
Then
9.
it
What's that
turns into a
saying?
5 to 9. Yeah.
Cheers.
Oh, cheers.
I think it would go
everybody.
really well with like a
Cheers.
shrimp dish.
Yes,
Sauteed
yes.
shrimp or something
Oh,
like that.
yes.
Like a,
Mhm.
I want like shrimp ceviche inside of an avocado with this. Like that's what I want with
Yeah.
this. I
By a
feel.
poolside, yeah.
Yes, by the pool.
Let's give some
Oh, that sounds
props
so good.
to the winemaker.
Yes. Our winemaker Lisa Strid is perhaps one of the most talented winemakers I know. I believe the statistic, correct me if I'm wrong.
How'd you find her?
is, well, I found her because the place where I had originally done my
Mhm.
continuing education coursework, she's a winemaker there.
I love it.
So I was
Yeah.
like fangirling. I was like, Lisa, I love your work. I think it's less than 15% of winemakers are female.
That is changing
Well,
rapidly.
that's
It
gonna
is.
change.
It is rapidly
Yeah.
changing, but
I'm slowly in school
Yeah,
now.
sure.
she is
Yeah.
she's considered a minority in the winemaking space. She is so talented and also has an incredibly kind heart as well. Like she's an amazing person, but she can study somebody's palate and know right away what kind of profile they're looking at, and can build that out in such a creative, complex way. You can also see her personality in these wines, though.
I love it.
You know what I mean?
What's her
She's-
age group?
What's her age group?
30s, 20s.
Personality.
Lisa, if you're
80s,
listening,
100s.
22. She's 22.
Oh my gosh, she's that
Uh,
young?
Yeah.
No, she's not. No, she's not. But I'm saying she's 22 in case she's listening. Lisa is very.
Not exact age, but age.
Your range is 22. Yeah, we just got the range.
I'm gonna say maybe late 30s to mid 40s, maybe
Okay,
around in there.
okay, in her 30s.
Yeah, she
Okay.
is.
So 20s.
If I had to guess, or she's in her 50s and has amazing skin care products, is all I'm gonna say. But Lisa, the personality's there. Lisa is very articulate and very like she does things by the book and does things well. But she's got kind of a funky, fun side to her, and so you see that personality come out in these wines, which I absolutely love.
I love it.
but she's done beautifully.
Okay, so I
Wine.
do want to talk about, because you're a dental hygienist, and I know that we don't have, how much time, David?
We've got a lot of time still.
Yeah, we're like 35 minutes.
Perfect.
Oh my
Wait,
gosh,
let's keep talking about the
Well,
9 to
let's talk
5.
about this wine.
Yeah.
And-
Okay,
and
let's talk
what
about it.
what I was about to say is wine is a science, but it's also an art. There's
That's
a
right.
creative aspect of making wine, and that's intuition. You know, I've known that people can go to the best wine schools and learn all the things that you need to know about the science of making wine, but until they get out there
Yeah.
and really start doing it and feeling it, so much of it becomes intuitive,
Yes.
right?
Intuitive.
Yes.
Dentistry is the same way.
Right?
Dentistry literally is
Sure.
an art and a science.
Sure.
Like if you're gonna have like your
Everything.
veneers done, like you want an artist to do it,
Yeah.
but you want somebody who understands the science of how to like attach that to your teeth, you know? So it is interesting how playful that has to be. You just don't need to know by the book. You have to be able to take that creative latitude and influence how that wine is going to come out. But winemaking is also very funny because sometimes you don't know how it's going to come. You know what I mean? You're like, okay,
exactly.
Is it,
And-
is it kind of an
And
experiment?
it changes
Yes,
every year
absolutely.
because it's
It's-
agriculture.
that's right.
Mm.
That's
And how
right.
long is like the process of you like finding the perfect concoction for the blend?
It can be quite laborious, and oftentimes when you go wine tasting, you'll see the winemakers trying, like, oh, this is a GSM blend, and then here's another GSM blend of a different year. You can tell they're trying to find the perfect way to put all these beautiful varietals together, and they just haven't figured it out quite yet,
Yeah.
right?
But when you're
It
picking that this
is.
is going to be your wine, how many wines do you taste of their experiments before you
How
say
many,
this
Dale?
is?
He seems
it?
really excited to
Yeah.
answer
This
this.
Dale,
this
let's
is
go
one of my
Dale,
favorite
Dale.
parts.
Oh
Dale.
my
Let
word!
me go, Dale.
Here
Come on,
comes
Dale.
Dale.
So really,
Dale.
all of
Sure.
this
Dale.
is her drink. And I'm the business guy. I don't know much about wine other than what tastes good
Tastes
to me.
good.
Right.
Gets buzz.
You're so
Ooh.
cute.
So-
Let's go,
So-
Dale.
So yes.
When she said, people are asking, what wine are you drinking? And I'm just recommending everybody else, I want to have my own wine. I said, that's a beautiful idea. Let's make that dream a reality.
Really?
And so
That's
we
what
got
he
to
said.
working with the
Good.
vintner and the winemaker, and she sent us 6 samples of each, 6 samples of white, 6 samples of red, and she wanted to do a blind tasting and say, all right, which ones are you loving? Which ones am I loving? Let's see if we can find some common ground. And for the red, we were pretty far.
We agreed.
No.
I thought we agreed on the red.
We were pretty far off. It
Can't
was-
look, can't
okay.
Yeah, don't look. This is the newlywed game. You can't participate.
No,
in
you
this
can't look,
kind
can't
of-
look. No evil
Oh,
eyes.
sorry, we agreed 100% on
We
everything.
agreed on everything.
See, you're the red that he
Amber.
likes.
She is my favorite red. Well done, sir.
Yeah.
So we were pretty far off. I think mine was like the third. Hers was the first. We ended up going with hers. Spoiler alert. But the white after we both.
So is she the boss in this
sampled.
relationship?
Oh my gosh, I love this question.
Don't look at her. Don't look at her.
I
Don't
love this
look at her.
question. Am I the
Don't
boss?
look at her.
I love her very much.
Who's the boss?
She's the boss.
Oh,
Ah, I could tell.
that felt so good to hear.
Anyways, with the white, we both knew as soon as it touched our lips.
You're on the same page.
We were
yeah.
like, boom.
So you
this
actually
is it.
tasted this blend.
Yes.
We tasted
So
this.
the
Cheers.
wines that she sent you were already blended.
I want to be
Right.
the boss. I
With the
would
same
like
grapes
Boss
or
is the
different
boss. Come on.
grapes?
Same grape. Well, there were 5 varietals, and she took different
Okay,
percentages
got it.
until we
This
whittled it
has
down
3
to
varietals.
the 3
Yeah, yeah,
varietals. Exactly.
And then how did you both say this is it?
Yeah, so we both took tasting notes. We videoed it so that we could have it for posterity.
I saw
And
the eyes.
when we revealed it, it was like, yes, 100%. Let's do this. And
This is so
Lisa-
delicious.
Lisa
I
made
love
it
this.
happen.
Oh, I'm glad. I'm
No,
glad.
no, no, no.
Well-
It's incredible.
Jeffrey,
It
you
is.
liking
Yeah,
it?
it's very good.
You enjoy it?
Okay, Jeffrey,
Yeah.
go to the
It's
mic and
nice.
tell
It's-
us what you think. Describe it to us. Jeffrey.
Don't put him on the
Jeffrey.
spot.
No, no, he knew, he knew.
It's really good. I don't know what to say.
All right, we've got really good
Very
on
good.
the
I'll-
docket.
And the
I'll
red
make
wine
some
has
Really
a great
good.
smell.
About
Okay,
Okay.
let's hear it, Richard.
This wine has, both these wines have the benefit, they can hear me, I've heard the playbacks, they can hear me. Both these wines have the benefit of being easygoing, well-balanced, tasty wines.
Mm-hmm.
This is, and they're not, I'm sure, I don't know what the retail would be, but they're not overly expensive. They're
Right.
probably well-priced.
Like 40-ish?
And
What's your prices?
$29.99.
Yeah.
Wow.
fine.
It's a great value.
Wow.
Oh, and then where can people go and get it?
Well, I'm not finished.
It was just a
So,
quick question.
yeah, well.
We're
don't
not done
interrupt.
until Richard
Don't
finishes,
interrupt.
okay?
Well, don't interrupt.
We're getting the wisdom. We're getting the wisdom.
So, you know, these wines are well-made wines. They come from grapes from Arizona, Wilcox.
Yep.
The grapes are well farmed.
Arizona's the best place in the world.
Yeah, these are
Yeah.
these are nice, very nice wines.
Very sustainable.
Without and you know without having to think about them too much. This is, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. Because you
I
can
want
really
to think about
complicate
it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it.
No, there's certain wines that you know.
I disagree. I wanna
you know,
think about
this
it.
is not. This is not to say that they don't have complexity. They have nice balance, and they're not so that you don't have to pick them apart sitting
Right, they're not
around
pretentious,
for
they're
2
not-
hours.
yeah.
They're exactly. They're unpretentious, well-made wines that
Balanced.
are pleasing.
Harmonious.
Yeah,
I think they're both incredible, but the 9 to 5, I'm like, I'm impressed with. Like, I'm gonna go buy 3 bottles right after the show. That's how good it is.
Oh.
You
I'm
can't
always-
buy them.
Yeah.
I'm
Where are you gonna
always,
buy them?
yeah.
Can you only buy them online now?
Where can you find them?
I'll let Dale Stewart answer that.
Oh,
Yes.
Dale Stewart.
Well,
Dale
Dale.
Stewart. Oh my
I'll put
goodness.
Back to your
Her,
question.
her boss will tell
You
you.
can find them at thewineup.com.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
so
so-
all on
Direct to consumer.
So you have to buy them online, and then they're
Or
shipped
we
to
drive
you.
to their house and
Right.
stock them.
That's right.
Where do you live?
Come stop us.
Or you just show up at our house.
So the fun thing about these though is we don't sell them individually, right? They are symbiotic. It's a duality. It's
They come
her
as
and
a-
I.
a pair,
It's
like
the
us.
wine up
Okay.
TWO too. It's for us.
It's the husband and wife.
It's
Oh
a
my
future
God.
husband
Which is
and
about
wife.
to happen.
My
Exactly.
future husband, baby.
Can we segue to talk about that for a minute?
Oh my
So you
God.
buy them in
Yes.
sets of 2 then?
Yes.
But you have to get red and white though?
You have to get red and white.
Okay.
Nothing rosé. You don't get them.
The yin and
free.
the
Wait, hold on,
You
what?
buy it-
Wait, you can't buy white without a red?
Correct.
You
What?
buy the white and the red together.
The
They
two
go in
pack.
a pack together.
Yeah.
TWO.
It's
What
just-
if you're a
I think
vegan?
that's-
They're both vegan. You think
It's a
there's
joke.
Then
It's a
you
joke.
don't. Then you don't have.
think that's
you have
blood in
cashew
there?
cheese with it.
What?
You have to give the red to a
Yes.
friend.
Yes.
Okay, I heard that most vegans drink white. Is that
Really?
true? That's what I heard.
I think you're making that up.
I am.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. So you're more experienced on the
Yeah,
microphone,
yeah,
so I didn't know where that was.
Sometimes you gotta
Yeah.
sniff the bullshit immediately.
I'm sure. Yeah. I'm not sniffing bullshit. Oh yeah.
little manure in there. Yeah.
Some does smell manure and some
Sometimes.
Oh,
even
it's
good
true.
wines, right?
No, I
Sometimes-
hear people say,
Yeah,
oh,
they'll smell
I
manure.
smell the dirt. It smells like dirt or it tastes like
People
dirt.
don't know what dirt smells like unless they're a sommelier. Like, you know, but yes, you can smell dirt. You can smell fresh rain. You can smell barnyard, cowhide,
Yep,
hay,
yep,
straw,
exactly.
stone,
Barnyard's a good one.
herbs.
Yeah, so there's a lot of that.
You can smell the whole thing.
that
Terroir.
you can smell. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so let's
Right.
talk about. I want to talk about how we stay alive with our keeping our
Okay,
teeth
we're going
clean,
to talk about staying alive.
staying alive with our teeth,
Okay,
and staying alive with love.
staying alive with love. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so let's talk about the love story, shall we?
Yes.
So
Love first.
here's the love story.
In case somebody clicks on, want to hear about love first, not how they're
They
gonna
want to know
die
about
if they
the
don't brush
love,
their
yes.
teeth.
And then we'll talk about how you don't die at the end. Dave, do you want to tell the story?
Oh,
I
my
really-
goodness!
I like hearing
Oh
how
my
he says
goodness.
the story.
She's gonna let you tell
Yeah.
the story.
Babe, you should tell the story.
Because it is cute. The
She's a
story's so
much
cute.
better storyteller, so my
No, it's a
apologies.
cute- he is-
no,
he's
he's
good
a
too.
really good
He is
storyteller.
too.
Yeah,
You guys are the
being-
same.
Yeah, he's being coy.
He's being very coy.
Yeah.
So I was on a dating app, as many men in their 20s and 30s might be, and maybe even
On Hinge.
40s,
But it was
50s,
Hinge, a
60s.
respectable one. It
was
wasn't
Hinge.
Grindr, one of the
Exactly.
degenerate
yeah.
ones.
It
Yeah.
was, yeah.
Hinge.
No
We'll give a
judgment.
shout out to Hinge. We'll tag them.
Shout out to
Yeah, it
Hinge.
wasn't
This is not
Grindr,
sponsored by
it
Hinge, but it
was,
should be.
That's right. We'll send it to them. Okay, Hinge.
And,
Hinge made this love affair happen.
Yes, yes.
and I
We can
saw
split the
this
profits.
beautiful
Yeah.
redhead,
Yeah.
and it wouldn't be right to say I was only messaging her, but when I
Oh,
met,
really? How many
Oh.
girls were you messaging?
Oh.
This is a
Don't
dating
even know.
site.
Look at Owen.
She has
We had no
no
idea.
No idea.
See,
what happens
we
on a
know.
dating site. It's obvious.
Nietzsche, we know.
We know the. You know how it goes.
Interesting.
So when I
He's
did
messaging
message
lots of women.
Katrina,
And he
was-
was on
it was
multiple
because-
dating sites. What other ones
I
was
bet
he
he
on?
was.
He's ubiquitous.
What an
Very
SLUT
ubiquitous.
you
did
are.
she bring me on to out me?
Oh my gosh, yes. This is
So
exactly
you're
what
on
it is.
multiple dating sites and you're talking to multiple
She
women.
likes to poke the bee's nest.
We're gonna
Focus.
focus.
Okay.
We're gonna
okay.
focus on the.
She's
one
not the
dating
person that's
site.
gonna walk
Yeah,
away.
So
I really enjoy this.
He was acting just like millions of other American men act. They're on more than one dating site, and they're probably, corresponding with more than one woman. Is that established? Is that
Corresponding.
fair?
I
So
love
what?
How, I love
And you
how
were like all the
official
rest of
you were
them.
with that. He were corresponding.
Yeah.
Okay,
Other
so how
women.
many? So you're corresponding with
Other
many.
lady callers.
You're very ubiquitous,
I played the fifth on that. But the most important piece about this
Yeah.
is.
and you have copious amounts of women you're talking to.
I mean, look at him. Come on, he's so good looking.
That's
You know what I
very
mean? Come on.
The most
And
important
he
part
makes
of
a lot
all
money.
this is
So-
she's a beautiful redhead, and we had a ton of things in common. And instead of giving her some, silly one-liner, I made sure to say, "Hey, I think that we have a ton in common. I really would love to get to know you better." And so when she was looking through all the guys that happened to swipe right on her,
Which,
mine.
by the way, I just want to do a short
Did stick out.
interruption. This happened right after my father passed.
Oh,
So dad
that's right.
passes,
Mhm.
I come back to Phoenix, and I'm like, I am done with men, because literally my best friend in the whole wide world, I just seen in a casket. Like I was like, I am done. So I'm deleting.
Mm,
And then
you're
it's
done.
like, are you sure you want to delete this app? Because look at all the men who are trying to talk to you. And it was like, hey, gorgeous, DTF, question mark, we're like, ugh, like gross, ready? And then I get this message. Go ahead, babe. that for you.
What did you say?
I just said,
I love
you
it.
seem like a really smart, intelligent woman. We have a lot in common. It'd be great to get to know you better and take you out.
That
for
was a
hike.
smart way to say
What
it.
kind of psychopath just says the honest
Exactly
thing like that,
what
though?
they
do. Really?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like,
Yes.
I'm sorry. Like,
I don't know.
Yes.
I'd
Giving
be,
this, like, see,
I'd like
that's
to
what
get
I'm
to know you
I
better.
do.
He was like being so honest.
We have
and
a lot
I'm
in
like,
common.
Oh, man.
Something-
You're
Everyone
smart,
does dick
intelligent.
tickets fast.
100%. I know.
Now, what did you put on your app to make people think you were smart and
I
intelligent?
don't know. What did I put on there?
Well, she had professional pictures and very
Oh.
fun pictures, but she talked about what her mission is, which is
Yeah.
to provide total oral health
She
to
did.
patients across the country.
I must have, yeah.
She also said that a fun Friday night was sipping wine and looking at dental research. So I knew she was a little bit geeky. I am too. It's okay.
Ah, he liked the smart.
Yeah,
What's that called when you're into somebody?
Sapiosexual.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sapiosexual.
we do. We literally on a Friday
Sapiosexual.
night.
You're
now we
interested in
sip-
somebody's
We
brain.
sip wine and I'm like, oh, the other day we got in an argument about the Human Genome Project. I'm not kidding you. We were like literally yelling at each
What's
other. I
to
was like,
argue about
you're
that?
wrong. We were screaming about how you genome DNA and like how this has happened over a spectrum of time and how elephants have these like memories out of like literally this is like what we do, right?
This is good.
It's very.
When you play Jenga, you put it in the double helix.
I,
No, I'm
I
kidding.
do exactly. I'm like SOHCAHTOA, bitch.
So then what happened?
Ugh.
Okay, so then what happened? Let's get back to this.
So she was trying to decipher if I'm a creeper or not. I passed that test.
So is he Jeff
and I said,
Tillman?
hey, let's get together Saturday night. And she said, well, I can't, I'm busy. And I was like,
That was smart.
Yeah,
Very hard to get.
I actually was
I'm too busy.
Oh,
Yeah, but
okay.
Oh
yes.
yeah, I'm too
all
busy.
right, well,
okay.
if that's the case, then let's meet up Sunday morning for a hike. And I did that because I knew
Love it.
if she said yes, she
Richard.
couldn't go out late on Saturday night with whatever guy she was going
And
out
you wanted to
with.
see if she had thunder thighs.
Well, we did hike.
Some people like thunder thighs.
We did
I
hike
know.
Festival.
A lot of people
which
do.
is
And I do
tough.
too.
Yeah.
I like thunder thighs. So anyway, go on.
We did hike Festival,
I
which
like
was a tough
thunder
hike.
thighs.
And I knew if she could keep up with me, that I would do my best to try and keep up with her in life. She did. She looked amazing. We had a lot of fun. We spoke for hours. I got to learn more about her, and
You had
Wow.
you
There
had
you
it for
go.
rattlesnakes.
I was hunting for rattlesnake.
Hike is a good first date too because
Yes.
you
I
get
agree.
to see somebody
I totally agree.
go through some adversity. You're getting to see them work out. The makeup might come off. You're gonna be like, oh wait,
Yeah.
was that a clown
Yeah.
or was that a person? You don't
I need a
know.
little
But
PSA though. For the
there's
ladies.
revealing things that come out of a hike.
I'm I'm
I
gonna
agree.
just say though, for the ladies, don't go hiking in the middle of nowhere. Make sure that there are people around because
Yeah.
this becomes a safety issue.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah,
That's
but
good.
maybe better
That's
for like
good.
a second or third date then, so you know
Yeah,
someone
yeah.
a little
If
bit.
you've done the
But
research,
it's a
you
good
know
early
that.
date, though.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
could go
totally
hiking.
psycho, yeah.
We did Payastuat, and then we went
Oh,
to
okay,
like,
Plenty of people there.
there's plenty of
Yeah,
people.
plenty
Then we
of
went
people,
to
yeah.
And then
Le Grand
what was
Orange.
next? Your home or my home?
Le Grand Orange.
No,
Just
no
kidding.
home. That's the whole point of the story,
Very
right?
civilized.
And I didn't kiss her, which I thought was like
And then
being
she-
a
Twice.
gentlemanly
Yes, it
thing.
was gentlemanlike.
But for her, she was like,
No.
I had no
that-
idea
I
if you
like
were
that.
interested in me.
That's why she still is with you.
Yeah.
He's-
That's why. If you did the move, she would be with you.
That's
Okay.
true. Yeah,
That's true.
he was not
Yeah.
super
No,
intense.
that's
at all.
Articulate. What is the? What is that?
Oh, if you have to ask, you know,
You don't
can't
know.
handle it.
You had to ask, you can't afford it.
Don't-
So I
What's
said,
the
So
record?
eloquent.
after date number one, I was like, okay, so he may not be into me. Like, I don't really know. Then he reaches out to me and he's like, hey, let's hang out again. So we go out for date number 2. I think we're on date number 2, but I don't actually know if we're dating at this point. We go out for our second gathering of sorts.
Yes,
And
I
we
love
have a
this.
beautiful time. Now we're having drinks
At a gay bar.
at a gay bar.
Which
yes,
I love.
exactly, right?
I love gay
so I'm
bars.
like,
Yeah.
okay. We have a nice time. At the end, this is like a random Tuesday night.
He's trying to
And
see if
I
you can go with the flow. You're
Sure,
a cool
right?
chick.
Which I think I probably did. I mean, you know,
Yeah,
I'm pretty cool.
yeah, yeah.
So we end the night and like that's it, like nothing.
But hold on. He told me what happened.
Wait,
Interject.
Thank you.
One of her friends came up just when he's going to kiss you. Okay, you tell her.
Were you actually gonna kiss me though?
Yeah.
I was gonna totally kiss you. I was gonna make a
You
move.
Okay,
were?
okay.
And then one
Yes.
of your friends
Thank
jumped
you.
in and started screaming and laughing and dancing all
And
around.
push you away and
A
you
cock
push
block,
him.
a good old cock block.
Jacob
Nice
and
call.
I, he used to do costumes and wigs for me back in the theater days. So like I know Jacob very well and I was so happy to see
A
him.
twat swat.
That's what
Were you
happened.
more happy than if I would have kissed you?
Oh, that's a good. Oh my gosh, the nail biter right here. Ooh, the.
I would have preferred a kiss.
There we go.
There we go.
But it ended up
There
working
we
out
go.
well at the end. Anyways.
No,
Happy
but
ending
no,
of the story.
The third date is when he finally did it.
So-
He grabbed her.
So
Yes.
I'll go quickly through this
Yes.
last one. So she's a good sport. She said, "Hey, for our next meeting, she didn't call it a date because she didn't know. She goes, for our next meeting,
She
what
thought
do you
it was
want to
it.
do? Do you want to go to a bunch of dive bars and get the same drink and just bounce from place to place?
Like, how cool
and
is
do
that,
chicken
right?
wings?
She's
Which
trying
is
to
a
get him
cool
drunk so
chick
she can
thing to
take
do.
advantage of it.
Yeah,
No doubt.
thank you. I wanted to get his pants off, and I was like, if I just get him drunk and give him chicken wings, like that's probably going to be like a fast like line from point A to point B. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead,
But she's a sommelier, so I was like, well, why don't you educate me on wine? Why don't you do something that
blah blah
you're
blah.
passionate about? Yeah, I thought I was going the smooth route. Apparently it wasn't so
And
smooth.
what happened? What happened?
Well, she took forever. It was like hours and hours, and we were about to be late for our reservation. She goes, "Oh my God, we're gonna be late." And I go, "Babe, I've got you. I've got wine. We're gonna take as long as we need. If the reservation holds for us, it holds. If it doesn't, it doesn't. The most important thing is that I've got you." And I laid a big kiss on her, and we've been a couple other shots.
I got you, babe.
I got you.
I got one, babe. Yeah.
And it happened.
That's when it
A
happened.
love story.
And it happened where we built the
2
wine.
minutes.
It happened where we built our wine business.
I love it.
That's it.
And then
That's
it
the
all,
story.
and then the wedding's
All's fair,
happening.
love and wine.
New Year's
New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve, we're gonna get married in beautiful.
It's the old story of taking your time. Sometimes it works. The tortoise and the
That's it.
hare.
That's
Yeah.
it.
I
Yes.
love that.
Sometimes if you just take your time, the chemistry builds properly and it ends up working out better.
Yeah.
So maybe if you had rushed it too soon on the first date, it would have fumbled all the chemistry. So
Yeah. Maybe
right.
that's it.
Ironically, I just saw the movie. I said that so loud. Sliding Doors.
I love sliding doors.
Oh my gosh,
Oh
about
my God,
Destiny.
I love that movie.
And she ends up with the right guy
She-
because
I
that other
know,
guy was
yes.
such an
She breaks up
ass.
with the guy. Oh my
Oh
gosh.
my
yes.
God,
A
sliding
sign for
doors.
everybody. Please see
See Sliding Doors.
Seriously,
And then
it's
you'll
such a
know
good
you might be
movie.
Is
with
it
the wrong
current
person.
movie?
Oh my God,
Is it
it's the
current?
best.
No,
Old
it's
movie?
not
I
current.
love
It's
it.
like
No,
back
no,
in the 80s
it's
or
very
something.
old.
It was
Old
but
movie.
it's so
I saw it
good.
with your dad.
I'll check it
And
out.
it's a movie about somebody cheating on somebody.
Yes.
And it was
Well,
the
it's
best thing that ever
alcoholic.
happened to her because she met the right guy.
The whole point is there are two different versions of her.
Yes.
In version number 1, she makes
Yes.
the train, she
Yes.
gets home, and she experiences her life. In the second version,
Yeah.
she misses the train by like a hair of a second,
Yeah.
and her life is like completely different.
Sure.
And you see those two different like dynamics.
But in the one
play
where
out
she
in,
makes the
like,
train, she catches the guy
she
cheating.
catches her boyfriend, her
Whoa.
husband cheating on her, or whatever.
Yeah.
And then she like,
And,
it's like this
and he's a
whole
big
thing.
cheater. It's like a ongoing cheating
Oh my
thing.
gosh, it's like super.
And the
intense.
other one, she
Yeah.
misses it.
Serial
It's
killer.
And then she-
incredible.
oh.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway,
like
we're
crazy.
saving
So
the
we have about
planet.
1 minute left. So
Yes.
we gotta touch on save those fucking teeth.
Yes.
You need to floss, and if you drink, it doesn't matter how sloshed you are and how nice your pillow sounds. Go brush those things.
Go brush your teeth.
Yeah.
Get oral cancer screenings routinely done by your dental health care practitioner. If your dental health care practitioner wants to do advanced gum tissue treatment on you, do it.
Yeah.
Your oral health is absolutely critical. There's research that says that if you floss your gum tissues, you will add 9 years to your life.
And living is lit.
That's it.
I
And
agree,
high
yeah.
quality living.
What
And
about
something that's
probiotics?
important that I want to.
Probiotics are also really important to your overall health.
Really?
By the way, yes, probiotics are critical. They introduce health-producing bacteria to your oral cavity that most of us have gotten rid of because we're so used to taking antibiotics and antimicrobials for everything. So probiotics become absolutely critical.
So we have to do a whole other show, but this is just a teaser for
Little
it.
recap. If you're
A
drunk, brush those teeth,
Brush your
floss
teeth,
them, eat
do
those
it too.
probiotics.
Take
Yeah,
care of your
do it.
oral biome.
And if you don't floss, it can give
Just
you a
as
heart attack,
important as
a
your
heart
gut
disease.
biome.
It can give you a
Rot your
lot
heart.
of things.
And buy
So-
wine at the Wine Op because they're doing a lot to give back to the community.
So we're here saving our teeth and families
saving
and
grapes.
children. Saving grapes one show
Save
at a
water,
time.
drink grapes.